That's odd. Hey y'all, I'm back up here in the attic. I don't know what happened. See, the devil is a liar. Let me tell y'all something. See, when the truth starts to come, the devil don't like the truth. I told you, he's come to kill, steal, and destroy, but he ain't going to step on this because God is all up in this, boo boo. So, I hope y'all caught the last, what I was saying at first. Come on back up so we can lay it on down. Oh, wow. Oh wow! I think someone's coming on up. Lay it on down. Look, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna come back up, and I want y'all to know. And I think I hear some footsteps coming up now. I think my brother. Look, without further ado, I don't know what went on the last part of the live, but it just conked out for no reason. But guess what? We stomp on that devil head, and this is what's gonna happen. Our brother, who done got shooken up and dropped out that bag. Let's congratulate and celebrate today, Mr. Edward LeVar Fairley. Come on up and lay it on down, brother. I'm sitting here trying to get this game together, then he has another game for us out there, the realest game out there. Brother, did you see
Hey,
how you
sis, can you hear me?
come up to that point where we lay it on down? Come on up and lay it on down for us today, Brother Eddie. Listen, I don't know what was going on that last part. It just clocked me out like it.
I was wondering what happened too. Can you hear
The
me?
devil is a liar. We stomp on the devil head up here in the attic. We just be an attic central too. And I was just telling them about. I don't know if you heard it. I pray that they come back on here. We was playing Uno.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I saw the whole thing. I can see you, but I can't hear you. I mean,
You,
I can't see you, but I can hear you. My apologies.
huh, you can't see me.
No, I can't see you. Let me
Huh.
see something.
So let's see what happens now. I got you on the camera.
You can see me though.
I can see you. I can see
I guess
everything.
that's I guess that's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah. Say that. That's all that matters. Listen,
You can hear
everybody
me?
on my squatters, you know how we do. We come on up and lay it on down. We got our brother, Mr. Can we call you Eddie or Edward? What you want us to do, Mr. Fairley?
It's fine. Eddie,
Eddie,
Edward,
you know how we
I
do. We
can.
come
I'm
on
good.
up and lay it on down. We
Hold
got
on,
our
let me
brother,
turn this
Mr.
off so that you can hear. My
Can you see
apologies.
me now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
can you see me?
I see you. I
All
see you
right,
and I
perfect.
hear you just fine.
So
I
I'm
see you
here.
just fine. I was, what's up? You can see me. Okay?
I was about to say I'm going to just use my laptop to see what's happening and mute it, and then we'll go back and forth that way. Is that okay?
However, we get, listen, it's glitches in life. As long as we're going to get over these humps, we are here. You're up in the attic. And guess what that means? Now you have become our newest attic squatter, baby. Let's go. Now, like I said, this month was congratulate others, celebrate others. And we set the attic is here celebrating you today on your success
I
on this.
appreciate it.
You got a lot going on. He has a book, y'all. I need y'all to check it out. It's called Increasing Your Relationship IQ. Now, there's a lot of quotients out there, emotional quotients, intelligence quotient, but we're talking about relationship intelligence. Eddie, come on up, lay that one down because you got a game too that I've been trying to get my hands on, and you've been keeping it in hiding. What's going on? Catch a girl, get it?
Well, as far as the book is concerned, yeah, your intelligence quotient is called the Handbook for Increasing Your Relationship IQ. It is a compact book because just me being honest, knowing oftentimes people don't like to read. So I made sure that I condensed information and packaged it so that it's not too much fluff and it gets straight to the meat so that when they see the book, they're like, oh, okay, I can consume that. I'm about to date myself. When you look at it, you'll probably consider like a Jet magazine. Remember the small Jet magazines back in the
Yeah,
day
I
that we
remember
had?
those. Thank you for putting my name down for things.
So So I did it intentionally that way because most books, the first two chapters of the book is what's read, and then they don't finish the book. So what I did was I wrote a book that is the size of the first two chapters of a book, so that people can consume it all and get all the information that they needed. I pride myself on simplifying the complex. So if I could not simplify, then I really do not or can't or have yet to succeed in simplifying the complex. So me being able to get the message across by condensing it through the book, the handbook for increasing your relationship IQ, is why that was produced that way. So that someone will have something that they can refer to. Hey, this is what we're struggling with. Let me go to this chapter to refresh the things that we need to refresh or strengthen in this aspect of our relationship journey, because it starts from the dating phase and evolves through the marriage phase. The thing that I love about it is successful relationships bleeds over to everything in life. You got your family, you have your work. That's all relationship, effective communication,
Right.
bonding, considering the other person. So even though my target market would be marriage couples or people that are heading into marriage, the benefit is anyone that is in your circle, because it assists in you seeing yourself, growing yourself, evolving yourself in this thing called love, so that you can share that with the world.
What about, okay, we're talking about people that are already entwined within a relationship, whether they're married or not. But what about the single ones that's out there just sitting down, peace be still, and just waiting, and they get this handbook, right? And they're looking, and it's like giving them the, like you said, the meat, giving them the nuggets before they even step out there. Is it helpful for a single person?
That's perfect for a single person. So if you if you're not married, technically you are single. Let's start there.
Yep.
One,
Oh,
and then two, would you rather start working on being successful in relationships while you're in it, or prior to getting there, so that you can be proficient in relationships by the time you get there? That's the reason and rationale behind the actual board game, which is really a simulator, but I package it like a board game. So if I can get you to fail at marriage through the simulation, it will and learn from it while you're playing this simulation or game, it will prevent you from having to fail when you actually have someone. So
that's crazy. That's
I kind
crazy.
of, I conceptualize it like a flight simulator. So you know how pilots, they don't have to learn how to fly by crashing real planes because they have a simulation. So now I've made it so that couples or a person that is going to ultimately become a couple with someone else, they don't have to learn how to make their relationship soar by crashing into real divorces. So they can crash and burn in this simulation, learn
You
from
learned
it,
it
because we
in the
learn.
game.
Yeah,
Let's get the cards right. Mix up now. I
there
call
you
it,
go.
like the first hand in spades. I go, this is just a run through. This don't count. This does not count. We're gonna go through this again. Oh, sorry about that, y'all. I said, look, my camera done did something different. I said, this is just a simulator. This ain't the
Yeah, there you go.
actual. But
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
was looking at the testimonies of the two women that played that game, and then I had the opportunity of seeing a young lady actually play it.
Mhm.
It looked to me like I was looking, like I was binge watching something. I was like, ah, touch on. Ooh. It looks like it taps in to you first.
Yeah,
It opens up a box that you didn't think you were ready to open, because we're so geared to opening up others
very well
boxes.
said.
Talk about this. I wish I had. Listen, do you have any
No, no, no.
of the cards on you to give us an idea of what to look for, or what we're going to be tapping in?
Yeah, I can. I'll pull it up in just a moment. I want to address what you said because I love that. So one thing about it that I love, as coaches and counselors, what we typically, or they typically experience when they read a book that's supposedly for relationships, or when they have a relationship consultation or counseling, they're typically, it's almost like church. You ever sat with someone in church and they're listening to the sermon and they were like, "That's a good message for you," or "That would have been a good message for such and such if she was here or if he was here." Which, but oftentimes when I hear people say that, I'm like, "Yo, that was actually for you. You missed it because you were so caught up in thinking that it was for somebody else, but that was, you were all over that message." So I say all that to
Everybody's
say
eyes, everybody's perceptions. Like she's perceiving her while you're perceiving her. Like actually, that's for
that was
you
for you.
though. And then
Yeah,
somebody down the line will go, "There's something in there for you."
exactly.
Oh shoot, I'm one rambling. Go ahead, we up in the attic. We all right.
No, no. I
Well,
say all that to say
go. You
when
show.
people play the simulator, they get frustrated, and I love that because that means when they're playing the simulation, they actually took that outcome personal, and they felt like that was them. When you're playing that simulator and you're watching other people advance in relationship, because the way that the simulator is set up, everyone starts as single. No love, NOLOVE, and then they transition or evolve into these relationships to get to no love, KNOWLOVE. So you go from no love, NOLOVE, which is not having it, not experiencing it, and not understanding it, to evolving to what's called no love, KNOW. That means you have reached a place to where you are moving in this space called love so professionally that divorce or breakup is not an option, because the way that you understand it, you understand your circumstance and you move in a manner that it sustains and preserves this respective relationship. So I say all that to say the testimonies that you saw, people shared that they saw themselves. Typically, when you read books or you have these simulators or experiences, they see what their mate or partner needs to work on. They don't see themselves. But through this simulator, just like any other 12-step program, the first step is to see that you have a problem. So clearly, when they're playing the simulator and the card or the landing space says to them that this really hurt my feelings, or I had people say, "You really stepped on my toes with this card," it's them saying that they have a problem, not someone else. Because if I tell you you need to fix something, you'll probably combat that and you'll say, "No, I'm good," or what have you, or "You're wrong," or "You don't know me." But if you're reading something and it makes you feel uncomfortable, that's actually you saying that you have a problem. And because it's embedded what you can do to resolve the issue inside of the card or the simulation, you can secretively or discreetly resolve your issues or know the solutions to your problem without even confessing that you have a problem, and maneuver that way. So what I love about it,
Sometimes,
go ahead.
I'm going to cut
No,
you
you're good. You're
there
good.
before we go further into when you get combative. Sometimes the delivery in people, sometimes it might not be that you don't know that you're going through this,
Mm-hmm.
that you are this way. You may not have addressed it or had opportunities to address it a lot, but a lot of times it's the delivery on how it's brought to you. Like, yo, you bugging, yo. It's really aggressive. So our
Yeah.
whole little bubbling brown shipper starts to bubble, go, oh, like, yo, what are you talking about? Now that was you. Remember when? Now we go into the memory bank of when you did this, when you did that, when you did that. Yeah, I did this, but the buts is always trying to sweep you out of the loop when you're still in it. This is still your relationship. This is still what do you say about that? It's like that's how you pick and choose who you choose to partner with, on how they talk to you or their tone. And God say love us, love each other the way we love ourselves. And sometimes our tone may be real brass and abrasive, but we mean love out
No, that's a great question, and the answer is twofold. One, I took care of that
of
by creating the simulator, and what I mean by that, the reason why I created the simulator was there's four hurdles that a counselor has to jump through before they can successfully be effective as a counselor. One is people don't want to share their business. Surprise. Two, if they do
it.
share their business, they don't tell you everything. Now that's the scariest thing for me. When what I
Right.
mean by that is, as a pharmacist, if you are going to prescribe someone medication because of whatever their ailment is, what they omit from what their ailment is could prevent you from prescribing what you're about to prescribe or
Let's
drastically
talk
change the
about it.
prescription,
Yeah.
because you could literally kill them by giving them a prescription based off of what they kept from you. And I thought about that as a counselor. If they're keeping something and I know they're intentionally keeping something from me, what I'm prescribing to them could literally kill their relationship or cause them to have a divorce. And then thirdly, the first person that gets the opportunity for feedback, they typically are the ones that feel like they're being double teamed and they don't want to play
That
anymore.
part.
And then which makes the last part even worse, because the opposite sex of the counselor typically feels like you're going to be biased towards the same sex. So if that person is a person that has an opportunity for correction or growth or opportunity in that respective situation, it only affirms the assumptive bias that they thought that you were going to have anyway. I knew he was going to take your side. He's a man. I knew she was going to take your side. She's a woman.
Yeah.
So with me creating this simulator, and it's already drawn out what you did in this respective situation and the psychology behind it and how to resolve it, there is no the other person has to say it in a certain manner, because it's already drawn out. And you can't say that it was due to bias. You can't say that it was because of gender bias. You can't say that you said it to me wrong or whatever, because
They drew the card.
you drew the card, and no one knew that that was your situation. You feeling uncomfortable saying that that is you, not someone else.
Wow.
So
Give me just a second. Give me just a second. Let me say hello to our addict squatters that
all
came
right.
on up to hear you lay it on down. Remember, everybody, I was telling you I was shaking that bag, so I shook that bag, and our brother, which is our new addict squatter. Applause, applause, applause. Mr. Edward LeVar Fairley. And he said we could call him Eddie because now he's an addict squatter and he's landed on down. He already spoke about his book, Increasing Your Relationship IQ. You can get it online. Check him out. And now we're talking about this board game, this simulator, this live simulator board game called No Love. And that's coming from no love and no love to knowing it, to no love, to KNOW in it. So here we are. He's feeding us this meat, y'all. So come at the table. The table is set. Let's go. This is a mind. Again, I have somebody up here said this is a mind blowing. I know he's going to thank you for this, Thomas. This is mind blowing, brother. Accountability and honesty is critical. That game is going to get somebody slapped. Well, that came from
I,
Thomas Wiggins.
yeah.
Oh
So, all right. So
boy. So
I
go
want
ahead.
I want to address the second side of this, because you said, hey, sometimes we receive it and it's a way that the delivery is. So I definitely have to address that, because all right, let me back up. The struggle with the world right now is that we confuse manipulation with love. And I have to use this as a backdrop or to contextualize what it is that I'm about to say. So we think that love is give and take, is 50-50. That's actually manipulation. Love is give, the end. I am expressing something to show that I feel a certain way about you. I'm giving you an expression. I'm providing a gesture. Yeah. So if we say God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, what can we do to in return for God to pay him back for what he did? There's absolutely nothing. There's nothing that we can do for God to for what it is that he's given to us. That's give. That's the epitome of what love is, to give in a manner that expresses how I feel about you with no expectations of return. Matter of fact, God already knows everything. So if he knows that there's going to be people that are going to reject him, he still died for them. So he did something to show them love, or give an expression with no expectation of a return on his investment outside of preferring a relationship with you. Okay. So there's nothing that you can do about that. So that's what the epitome of love is. But what we have learned is that love is manipulation. And manipulation, the way that works is I do this for you, and I do that for you with the expectation of you do this for me.
Right.
So what happens is when you do that and they don't give you that return of your expectation, now you feel offended and you have a list. I did this for you. I did that for you. I did this for you. And I did all of that. And you didn't do anything back to me or for me. That's
and then
manipulation.
Now they want to back out.
That's not even love. Love doesn't dissipate because it didn't start at love. That's not even the essence of love. So love truly is a superpower. So if I'm with my wife and I do something out of love, what she does or she doesn't do in return of that expectation or that expression does not bother me or offend me or disrespect me at all. Now, the problem is when you see a loving relationship from the outside looking in, it looks like give and take if both people are loving because both of them are giving. So it looks like he does something for her and she does something for him. So it looks like a back and forth thing when it's really a give and give and give and give thing.
Give me. It's always
exactly.
a me.
It's always a give
you
thing.
You realize that you thinking that you're doing that. Oh God, sometimes they don't even realize it, but they just they call them narcissists now. That's a word that's going around. But
it becomes a place where when you're in a loving relationship, it honestly turns into a competition of you expressing love to that other person. And because it feels so good to be loved, that person overwhelmingly loves you back. But they can sense manipulation, and that's where it all falls down because you get offended when you're moving in manipulation. You don't when you're moving in love. And
that's not safe. It's like that something ain't right.
A good way to determine
that's not love.
A good way to determine if you are moving in love when it comes to another person is if the things that you would like to change for them are things that would benefit them, not you. All the things that I want to change about my wife are things that I know she does that does not benefit her at all. It would make her life so much easier if she did it this way. Not my life so much easier, but her life so much easier. So when you start moving in a place,
go ahead. They say when you're married, you become one. So whatever that person, I'm just throwing out stuff. I'm just saying. You said if you see a flaw in your wife or women, if you see a flaw in your husband, you want to help them, not help you, help us, because this ain't an issue with me. This is an issue with you. But in a lot of relationships, they believe that the issue with them is causing the issue with them. But with you, that's going to cause the issue in a whole. That's going to tear that house down. But it's selflessness, not thinking about you. You're thinking about the person you love. And you're just throwing little ideas out there. Maybe you or need to work on this.
Actually, I don't offer any ideas unless I'm asked. Now, I will watch and see because that in itself could cause a problem or an argument.
So
anytime you suggest that somebody needs to fix something, you're setting yourself up for pushback. But if you watch and observe and you wait
within themselves, that's what you're telling them, and that's what the board game is telling them.
Now the board game will force them to. It doesn't tell them to do anything. If this card, I'll put it to you this way: when you play the simulation and you read the cards or you read the landing space, if that card does not offend you or make you feel some type of way inside, that's not your problem. You'll read the card and be like, oh, okay, and you'll move forward. Now, when you read it out loud, that might make somebody else feel some type of way, which means that is what their struggle is. When you're playing the actual simulator and that card makes you feel some type of way, that is you subconsciously and spiritually admitting that is your struggle. Otherwise, why did that card offend you? It doesn't have your name in it. It didn't say you in particularly. You're just playing it, and that's what the experience was in that respective round. So if that bothers you, that is your problem. But it also has the ability to resolve the issue from the problem in which you're moving it. Now, the reason why I took that approach is to take that long route, because this is still the second half of your initial question, is you said that sometimes people receive it the wrong way. And that goes back to love and manipulation. If you are looking through the lens of trauma, everything that is given to you will seem traumatic. But if you're looking through the lens of love, everything that's received to you will be received loving. So I could say the same thing the same way. One thing that I love about the environments and the friendships and the circles in which that I've created for other people, I've created environments that make people feel so comfortable that even when I share something with them that might be piercing or hurtful, they know the essence of which is coming from me, to where it's not offensive. Now, another person can say the same exact thing the same way that I said it, but because of who they are and they know the essence of them, it might not be received that way. And that is what I mean, because manipulation and love, they look like identical twins. But the actual intentionality behind it is totally different. I can give you an example. My wife, I can see that she's having a long week at work. It's a long week. She's doing a whole bunch of overtime. I can make sure that I make her favorite meal and that she has a massage ready for her at the end of that week and a nice hot bath set up for her for when everything is all concluded.
Being thoughtful,
all right?
and acknowledging and empathizing. That's what
So,
caring for others is. It's being
so now,
empathetic and knowing.
hold on, because that sounds good. Because
Oh,
my wife comes home and she has all of that. She has her favorite flowers. She has the meal. She has the massage even set up. And then after that, she has the dinner. And then after that, it's a wonderful day if I conclude the day. But now let's use that same scenario and we get to the bath part and she's bathing. And I say, hey, now I set all of this up for you. Now you know what I expect for you later. That ain't expect from you later.
that changed the
That
whole
changed the
mood.
whole thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because now my intent was to get something for me. And it had really it didn't have anything to do.
Manipulation. Look
There
at
you
love.
go.
That's what that
Manipulation.
was.
So there we go. So that's what I mean. Manipulation and love, they look identical. But the intent behind it, the essence behind it is different. So that's what destroys people. That's why people don't trust it. And that's why that presentation of what someone said to you, it might rub you the wrong way because you had been in manipulative relationships.
And I think a brother did it. His name is Wiggins. He's like, oh dang. So he must have did it.
No,
Now you
he's
know,
just
Thomas.
he's
Now you know.
conceptualizing what was shared. But no, I definitely know that, brother. I know where he's coming from. It's not something that
Wow.
he did, but it's just a realization of they both look alike, and that's why love is scared, and that's why you have to take that leap of faith when it comes to love, because it looks identical to manipulation. And if that person is there to just do what it is that's necessary to get what they want, again, you have to be sensitive and be able to discern whether someone is manipulating you or they're moving from a loving place. But there's a way to do that.
Heart posture thing as well. This is all heart posture. Where's your heart and where's your mind all into this? Like, why do we do the things we do? Why do we say the things we say? Why do we choose the people we choose? The people that some people may choose could be they see something. It's so many areas. So many areas. On the people we choose. Some people choose people because they think they're weaker than one or stronger than them, and they can use that. They need them to to build them up to be a crutch. Some people may get with a person that they think that they believe that they can get over on them. They're the weakest link, so they want to be big man on campus or big woman in the bar. You know what I mean? Then you have those that really, really want it, that really want it. What about the ones that's out there that want it but don't know quite how to receive it?
Well, that all right. So there's a couple of things with that statement because that's a loaded question. But I love the way that you said that. What if they don't know how to receive it? People that can't receive are people that aren't giving. So let me explain what that means. you can only receive what you're able to give. Otherwise, you won't believe that it can be received. So what I mean by that is if a person is not able to receive forgiveness, that's because they have not yet forgiven. So love goes first. And and that's why love is a superpower. When you're really moving in the essence of superpower, you love people, but you're liberated from them. You don't need them. So I typically tell people you should not be dating until you are enjoying being by yourself.
I agree.
Otherwise,
I agree.
you're typically looking for someone to actually complete you, as opposed to someone to compliment you. So that's coming from a place of need. So now you're kind of moving in a place of desperation. Another thing, especially when people are pivoting from a bad breakup and they're looking and then getting in a relationship, that's probably the most blindly or the most blind you will approach a relationship. And what I mean by that is when you leave a really, really bad relationship, typically you get into a relationship with someone who actually has the quality that the person lacked, or they have the opposing characteristics of the things that you hated about that other person. The problem with that is you get so excited that they have what it is that the person lacked, or they are missing the thing that you hated so much that you forget and you don't even pay attention to all the other things that the person did have that you actually needed or preferred to be a whole person in the relationship. The morals, principles, and values that you actually liked about the person, they get washed out, just like you shared, when you find that person that actually has what you're looking for. So you went blind to all the things that you actually needed or wanted because you found that one thing. But now when you finally get into that relationship, you start recognizing all these other things that are missing that you didn't even pay attention to because you were so excited that you found what was missing or needed in that particular previous relationship.
That small little hole void that one person didn't fill, that one is filling, that you just lose sight of the bigger picture.
Most
okay.
Yeah.
Go back and explain that compliment thing, because a lot of people think that, okay, she doesn't compliment me or he doesn't compliment me. They're not looking cognitively or posturally. They're looking at physical appearance, how they dress, how they shape, how they talk. It goes deeper than that.
That's very well said. I like that you said that. First, I want to conclude a thought, then I'll finish the statement right here. So we're talking about people can't give what they don't have. So you don't even believe that you can be loved until you love. Otherwise, you're going to question whether you're loved when someone actually loves you. So that's why it's imperative that you become the person that you prefer to be first, because you won't even believe that it's possible to have when you experience it. So when that person comes and they do forgive you because you've never forgiven anyone, you won't even be able to receive forgiveness because you haven't given it yet. You won't even be able to receive love because you haven't given it yet. So you practicing and becoming the thing that you prefer to be will allow for you to be receptive to it when you actually encounter it. And you'll also be able to identify it. So that's one thing. Two, we're going back to what you were just talking about, the complimenting thing. So you're exactly right. My biggest thing is you should already be whole when you're getting into a relationship. Let's start there.
Amen.
And one thing that makes me it makes me cringe is to hear someone say, "This is my better half." All right. So let me break down why that's such an issue.
Right. That's that 50-50? Is that 50-50? It ain't no 100.
Yeah. So you should already be whole. So for one, let me tell you something. Any relationship is going to end either because of death or divorce. So to suggest that my wife is my other half implies that I'm not whole when she's gone, and that's insane. I am perfectly fine with or without my wife. I love my wife, but I am perfectly fine, and I'm perfectly whole with or without my wife. I need that to be understood.
You hear that,
So,
Stick Corners? I know y'all hear this.
so we should be able to live. Now, let's go back to this complimentary statement. You should be living as in a relationship. You should be living harmoniously as individuals. Now, the problem is what happens is typically we get into a relationship and we try to live like one person when we get together. Meaning you should be doing things like I do things, and
Right.
I should be
Hey,
doing things
nobody's
like
supposed to be an
so you're
individual.
trying so we're trying to change things. Now, when you talk about harmony, if I'm a flute, I remain a flute and I play what it is that my flute notes play. If I am a let's
Trumpet.
go with violin. If I'm a violin or
Let's
trombone
go.
or whatever, I will remain who I am. And when we play our separate individual music, it comes together as one harmonious, beautiful sound. So
I
that's
can
what
still
should be
play it by
happening
myself. I can
in a
still go
success.
over here and say,
Exactly.
there you go.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you are in a relationship, you should be living harmoniously as an individual. You should sustain who you are. You should grow and evolve in who you are, but
That's
you all should be
crazy.
able to do that together collectively
Now,
as
Addie, you
one
know how to
unit.
say, I got you. What he says, a lot of folks can't handle that statement. I'm fine with it without you.
Well, that is it's a tough statement to hear until you understand the essence behind it. Now,
Yeah.
I remember this day like yesterday. So my wife
Again, the way
was
you say it, the way you say it. I
towards
like the
to,
flute way. I
towards
like
the
the flute
beginning
way.
the beginning of my relationship with my wife. My wife got really ill. She got pneumonia, and it seeped into her bloodstream, and
Mhm.
she was in the hospital for like 7 days, and we were wondering whether she was going to make it home. Now, my wife, when we first got married, she does not like the way her system is, the way she does things. She has the clothes and stuff everywhere, but she can find everything when it comes to the kids and getting them ready or what have you. When we
She
first
has a system
got
of her
married,
own. She
that
got a
was not.
system of
I
her own.
I can't work like that. Like, so my stuff was separated. Once we came to that conclusion that she's not going to change that, I'm not going to change the way that I like organization. We just had stuff separated, and that's perfectly fine. It did not ruin our household. It did not make our children better or worse. That was something we had to conclude. So I say all that to say, at that time or season in our relationship, she would get the children ready. I would go to work and things of that nature. But when she got sick, that had to change. I took on everything. So I folded the clothes up. I created my system, and I had everything moving like a fine-tuned machine. And I had the children ready for school. I had dinner and everything already set up. And when she came home, I literally saw my wife, and I discerned that she looked around and saw how everything was fine without her. And I saw her look, and she kind of sensed like, dang, this guy does not need me. And I saw that, and I didn't like that she saw or she came to that conclusion or at best received it that way. So I shared with her, I said, you know what,
But that
babe?
was a good thing, though.
I
That was good.
said again, hold on, that's what I'm saying. When I realized that, because as he said, not everyone can handle that. I said to her, hey, you're exactly right. I don't need you. But this is evidence that I want you. So if you are chosen, whereas we can do everything together, my intent when it comes to my relationship is to make my wife and my children as independent of me as possible. I think the worst thing that I can do is leave this earth and my wife and them need to find someone to replace me because I did not equip them with the ability to do the things that I can do. So that way, you know you're wanted, not needed. Now, if you're needed now, which is why a lot of people that are wealthy or they're superstars, they try to have relationships with people who are matching in skill set because they don't want to feel like they're being used. So
Right.
they're trying to find someone that at least has around the same thing that they have so that they would not be being manipulated, which is what we've been talking about the whole time. But my wife learned at that moment that it's better to be wanted than it is to be needed. Not to mention, if she gets ill again, she will be able to transition if she has to with the peace and knowing that this house is going to be in order.
That part right there. I want to know that I can leave.
He has my children. Everything is going to be fine. He does not need me. We benefit from each other, but he does not need me and she does not need me. You understand what I'm saying? But again, when it comes from a place, again, it comes from coming from a place, a person that is manipulative could have said the same thing that I said. That's right. I don't need you. So get yourself together. Get yourself in order. Now, or I'm gonna have to transition you. There's people that think like that. Again, the heart posture, where you're going from, or where they're coming from. It looks the same. It looks exactly the same, but where is it coming from?
So, what part of your heart is this coming from?
Exactly.
Here.
So now the question that people that are probably listening are thinking, well, how can I determine whether I have someone that is manipulative or that is really coming from a heart posture of love? Now, there's secrets to that. I'm gonna give you a really good one. A good way to do it is if they do it to everybody, that's the essence of them. If they only do it to you, they're more than likely manipulating you. What do I mean by that? If they're only really, really kind to you, but you see them going off on other people, more than likely that's not the essence of them. If you see them being, it's something that they're acting like for you. But if they're doing that to everyone, if I'm genuinely a giver to all people that you see me maneuvering through or with, that is who I am. So it's good to see them in different settings to kind of see if that's how he or she is in general public. And if that is how they are, more than likely that's how they are. But if they only seem to do that with you, don't feel special. Do not feel special.
These new relationships, brother. These new relationships. Let me see you outside.
If they only do it with you, don't feel special. Do not feel special. Because that's not them. It's not them. It's not them. So that's a really, really good one. Pay attention to how they respond to you. And you'll be able to kind of tell that, this is not really who he or she is.
It's different. That's when you get that feeling like something ain't right.
Not if you're blind, and that's not if you're picking from a place of need. when you get to a place where you love yourself and love being by yourself, you're not going to add mess to your situation. You already have peace. You're not going to add to that. But the thing is, people typically they're looking for somebody to assist and try to help them to be happy. Now, let's take that statement, because that triggered me just now. People looking for someone to make them happy. Let's really break that down. So if you're looking for someone to make you happy, you've already confessed that you're not happy and you don't know how to do it. Yet you put that expectation of someone else to do that for you, and you don't even know how to do it. Because if you need someone to make you happy, that means you don't know how to make yourself happy. So how can you set up an expectation that you can't even accomplish on someone else? That is insane. That's one thing that we know in my household is it is not my job to make my wife happy, nor is it her job to make me happy. It's my job to be happy on my own and her job to be happy on it. That is neither one of our responsibilities. But
that's an amen right there, bro.
I digress.
It's okay. We busy up in here, attic squatters. I know you up here, you up in the attic, and you taking it all in. Eddie, do you have any a way that the attic squatters, which you're now an attic squatter, thank you, where they can reach you, where they can contact you, where they can what area on the internet where they can find the book Increasing Your Relationship IQ, which is your intelligence quotient in relationships, and how to get their hand on the game No Love, from No Love to No Love.
All right, so my book, The Handbook for Increasing Your Relationship IQ, which looks like this, it is available anywhere online. You can go Amazon, you can go to Barnes and Nobles, anywhere online you can order it and it will be shipped to you. the
Well, I don't
actual
want you to digress. They said don't digress now, Eddie.
The No Love Simulator, the board game simulation, that will be so right now we're literally waiting for a big shipment to arrive from China. It's actually scheduled to arrive in New York on Monday, and then after that it'll be headed to Norfolk, and then we have to wait. I don't know how long it's going to take for customs to release it for it to arrive here to where I can distribute it to everyone. That's 1,005 units that we order from China. So that will be available. I am taking pre-orders, so you can inbox me on my Facebook, which is Edward LeVar Fairley. That's my Facebook. So, but this is what it looks like. This is the board game box and everything. So that this will be available once the actual games arrive. There's people that have already done pre-order, so they're just waiting for its arrival so that it will be actually sent out. Right now, good question, Thomas. It is an introductory cost of $197 because what we're doing, we're combating people that are actually they're going to marriage retreats. They're spending $6,000 to $10,000 for a marriage retreat.
Wow.
Yet 34% of those same people are still getting a divorce. The reason and the rationale behind that is they're getting decent tools, but they can't bring the tools home with them. So with the simulator, clearly that's a significant decrease in the cost in reference to them having to pay that much to do actual counseling or actual retreats. But they get to bring it home and they get to revisit the tools in which allow for them to better their relationship and prevent a divorce. And we haven't even discussed the savings of the actual divorce, spousal support, separating assets, having to separate the funds for the children and things of that nature. So yes, it's $197 for the simulator.
You know what this game does? You just said they can go back to it. There could be moments in relationships they go, honey, I think we need to bust out the game. Let's go bust the game out. Yeah. It becomes, like I said, you get to a certain age in life where you want knowledge. You want to know more. You want to grow more. So you start to tap into yourself. You start to get to know those qualities that you have, that you can set boundaries where nobody can't, you want to allow. There's certain things you want to allow and certain things that you will work on and certain things that you can partner with. This game sounds like with your partner, even before marriage, you tap into it, and then it makes you as yourself go, wait a minute, we played this game and that's just what that said. Oh man, I'm doing it. And it makes them reflect and remember, like, oh wow, that is me. I didn't know that was me. I was trying to fight that was me, but that is me.
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah, most certainly. Actually, you know what? We talk so much about the success of trying to go into a relationship and be equipped to be in a well-rounded or successful marriage or relationship. But what we don't discuss, which is one of my favorite success stories, is I had a man who had this woman who was his fiance. He moved her from Maryland all the way to Washington State, the West Coast. And at that time I was renting out the simulators before I was able to mass produce them where we've arrived now. And they rented the simulator and they played the simulator and they concluded that they were not the right couple. They were not compatible. Wow. And that same man moved that woman from the West Coast all the way back to the East Coast, and they prevented themselves from getting into a marriage that they were about to have to share assets, share children, and all that stuff together. Now, that same man uses the same simulated information, and he's now married for 3 years with the right woman. So this could prevent you from getting into a relationship with someone that you have no business getting into a relationship, or realizing that you were about to force something that was not beneficial to you in the long run, so that you don't have to deal with all of the things that come with that setup, right. And dealing with I got to deal with the ex or my baby mama or we got to share Christmas. Well, they go with these people for this Christmas, and then we get them all of that stuff. That is preventative that comes with it. So it's more than just my biggest thing, and even my clients, I tell them right now at the beginning before we start, my job is not to make sure that you two stay together. My job is for you all to find love in yourselves, and hopefully that allows for you all to love each other collectively, harmoniously as individuals. But if you two find love in yourself and decide to separate, I still have done my job, because with that love and what you've taken from our experience, that can evolve into a relationship that you actually have with someone who loves you. You can identify it and be intentional about maneuvering through it, and then have a wonderful relationship as a family, which in turn leads over to wonderful relationships as a community, which in turn transitions to wonderful relationships in cities, states, nation, and ultimately the world. That's my purpose. That's my job.
That was the next thing that was on my mind. The first question was, damn, on it. Now I'm on community, because that's where it's at. That's what this is about, building communities. It's not about breaking them apart. And this game is geared toward keeping communities more. This is a question. Is this game also geared towards keeping community tight and not tearing it up without having the knowledge? A lot of us are being torn up because we don't have the knowledge. This game is designed to give us the knowledge that we may be looking for, don't have, so we can keep our families more tight, keep relationships more tight, and agree and be in an agreement that this is not working out between the both of us, but it works out here in this friendship space, not in this marriage or wooed up space.
So I wish I could say keep communities tight, but we don't have tight communities. So it's here to create tight communities, and for us to identify love in its true essence, and also to self-correct in a discreet manner where you don't even have to deal with the word I'm getting counseling. You don't have to deal with the word of telling someone that you need help. You can play this edutainment tool, and you can discreetly and even mistakenly learn how to love in a manner that we learn in real life. Because I'll say it this way: good judgment comes from experience, but experience comes from bad judgment. So so when you're playing this simulation and you're dealing with bad judgment to gain good judgment through the experience, that it allows for you to maneuver in a manner that in real life you don't have to have those experiences that take months and even years to have, when you can get it in an hour or two through the simulation. But it's so embedded because people literally get frustrated by playing a simulator, and it's
it's frustrating to get them frustrated with them or the card.
See, and that's the interesting thing. They're getting frustrated with both things, but that frustration also lets me know that the message came through the simulator. Otherwise, it wouldn't bother you at all. That experience is really putting the experience, like you're really taking it as a real experience, even though it's not. It's like watching someone play on a VR,
right,
and they're walking a tightrope and they slip and they really stumble because they really think that experience is happening. And through the simulation, they are really taking on the lessons, and they're taking it personal, and they're getting frustrated. And it's only been 20 or 30 minutes, and they're like, I'm still stuck and single. Why can't I get to marriage? And they're getting frustrated, and they're watching this all play out, which means they are taking away the lessons, and they're getting frustrated because emotion attaches a lesson to it.
Give us an example, Eddie. Break out a card or two.
All right.
Give my addict squatters a taste of what they'll be getting into when they look into this game. Give them something to think about for now. with their
All right,
mate. How about that?
let's see what we got.
Gosh, we're coming to the end. Gosh, it's good. Ready, squad members, are you ready? Yeah, I'm laughing now. As soon as that game hit this table and I open it up, we're like this, man.
All right,
Almost
so
like
I'll start with dating card because there's three different decks. There's dating, relationship, and marriage. So here is a card. This says, though you want to be in a loving relationship, you are afraid of being hurt again. You subconsciously sabotage any potential relationship the minute you have feelings. Back to single. Forgive those who hurt you in the past to allow you to experience the true love waiting for you in the present. That's one of the cards. So that card
that
basically
that
sent
that,
you back
that
to
part
single.
for a single person still looking and don't know why it won't last. They pushing people away, self sabotage.
Yeah, most certainly. This one says, because of poor experiences you've had in the past, you make generalizations about males or females, which cause you to expect the worst from them and respond to them negatively when you're dating. Back to single. Realize how unfair it would be for someone to judge you based on an experience with someone else. Look at people as individuals.
Juanita
So,
says this game exposes the deeper you, the thing of the heart.
mm, here's one. It says, because of negative experiences in your past, when you feel that your date did or said something to harm or disrespect you, you don't let your date know how you took what he or she did or said, nor do you ask if the way that you took it is the way the person meant for you to receive it. This causes your reactions to be way off base from the person's intent. You don't get a second date because of your constant negative responses and outlook on things. Back to single. Work on seeing people as individuals to help isolate your experiences and to remember to clarify the intent of others before reacting.
These cards,
These are dating
y'all heard it.
cards.
Y'all heard it from the horse's mouth. Y'all heard it. And half of the horse's mouth is deep down within.
Mm.
So let's tap into self and let's work on each other. Let's work on ourselves. Let's start dating ourselves. All you single people out there, don't rush into it.
Here's one more. It says, you keep struggling to experience love because you still think that sex is love. Back to back to single and lose a turn. You can't scratch an emotional itch with a physical scratcher.
The only way you can adhere to that card is if you agree to it, right?
Yeah,
Do you
most
have
certainly.
any people? Because this is clearly for the mature person, the mature person that's ready for that wants to see a difference in their life, that wants to see things stay cohesive in the relationship and become better in the relationship. Now, Juanita, Miss Jones said, "Ouch." Okay, everybody on my attic squatters is shouting you out, Eddie. I know you can see this too.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
when oh Jesus, I lost my thought too. This happens in the attic. Ain't nobody here, Rod. Nobody,
Want me to
Rod.
read?
Clearly,
Want me to read a relationship card?
girl, yeah. We gonna do, yeah. I'm
All
giving
right.
it to you. Let's go.
Here's one. It says, you keep blaming your relationship actions or lack thereof on the experiences others contributed or didn't contribute to your upbringing, and it causes a strain on your relationship. Lose a turn. Blaming others for your actions or lack thereof gives the power over your ability to change your actions to those you blame and leaves you powerless when it comes to changing yourself. Acknowledge your feelings about how they treated you, forgive them, and then work on becoming who you wish they would have been to you by taking ownership of your actions and changing your ways.
Woo! That's a lot. That's hard, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with me. No, but that's why you.
Facts. Facts.
Why
Yeah.
you still up in the attic? I'm not laying it on there. But I want y'all to come up to the attic and give us your success stories. Give us everything from the woes and foes Remember, y'all, season 1, 2, this is season 3. We're dumping those loads. We getting new information. And this month is my birthday month, and we are celebrating you. And today we had the opportunity to celebrate Mr. Edward Fairley. And we appreciate you so much, Eddie. Thank you so much for coming on up and laying it on down. Y'all
Thank
got
you
the
for
information
having me.
out there on Facebook, on any on the internet platform. Y'all can locate increasing your relationship IQ. Let's get started right there. Reading is fun. It's nothing hard to read. It's a manual, something that y'all can touch on, a good resource tool. And look, don't forget, you want that game, Miss Spice? You can have this game. This game is called No Love. From no love to no love. And
Well
they
said.
can reach out. You can reach out to Mr. Fairley through Facebook. Is that your only way? Facebook?
I mean, since they're already here, it only makes sense that they reach out
Right
to
now?
me, yeah, there, and then we can go from there so that when the actual shipment arrives, we can orchestrate how to get them the stuff.
Glory to God. To God be the glory. Thank you, Eddie, for coming on up, laying on down. We love you to life.
Thank
We
you for having
do.
me. Love you more.
Oh, Jesus. See, that's what I'm talking about. And guess what? I can say something, and he'll know it's out of love coming from me, even though I'm a little cray-cray. I know I'm a little cray-cray. I'm good. I ain't got the driver's gloves on today. I am in Central Attic. Let's go, Edgewater. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can get notified. And remember, heads up, chest out, and be great. And wait, don't forget to articulate. Stop playing them games and get this real life simulator here. Let's go. Tap into self. Thank you for coming up to the attic.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.